Howdy y'all, we're back in our kitchen this evening. It's around 7ish, quarter after 7, and we're going to be making it's Tuesday, and we're going to be making our pies and keeping them cool for our Thanksgiving feast we're going to have this for our family. But I'm going to show you how to make a quick version. I bought Libby's, and on the back of Libby's there is two versions. You can do the famous pumpkin or the new fashion pumpkin. So I'm going to do, instead of sugar, I'm going to be using the Eagle brand condensed milk as my sugar. Okay, so let's get started. I have 4 eggs, and it says to beat 4 eggs. Mix my wet ingredients first. So we have our 4 eggs beaten. I'm going to put them in this bowl. And then I have 2 cups of, you have to buy 2 cans, but you won't use the whole 2 cans. It's 2 cups, okay? So we have carnation, evaporated milk. This is 2 cups. So that's going to go in with the eggs. We're putting our wet ingredients together. And we will have some left over, but we can use that in gravy or the rest of the meal. So I hope to do the whole meal on YouTube to show you quick versions for people who work that, you know, want to get their pies done. I'm actually going to do tonight, after I do the pumpkins, I'm going to do half apple and half blueberry, and I'll show you how to do that too. So we're going to open our cans of Eagle brand, and Eagle brand is basically, if you boil this, or it turns to caramel. This is what caramel is. I took a cooking class one time, and they boiled this probably 2.5 hours or something in boiling water, and we opened it up, and it was that pure caramel that you dip apples in. Okay, so we got 1 in, incorporated in our wet ingredients, and we're going to go ahead and open the other one. Now, like I said, if you want to try the other recipe, you wouldn't use this as your sweetener. You'd use probably 1.5 cups or 1.25 cups of sugar, white sugar, okay, in your pumpkin pie. And they both will come out, but I really think this one's going to give us a little bit better of a flavor. I like it. So there's different ways you can make things. Okay, so those are my wet ingredients, and I'm going to mix those up well. I picked up Libby pumpkin today. It's good. You can take pumpkins right from your yard, put them in the oven, cook them down, and scrape out your pumpkin, puree it, put it in your food processor. If you've got time to do that and you want to do that, go for it. Okay, so those are wet ingredients. And so now, pie crust. You can take Lily's white lily flour and use buttermilk, the unbleached, and put it in there. You can use Crisco, or you can use butter, and go ahead and roll out your pie crust if you want to, or you can buy pie crust. Tonight I have pie crust already ready to go. It's just an easy, quick, one step that I don't have to do. So working moms, this will be for you. Let it thaw, roll it out on the counter with some flour. The work is done. So in our bowl, we have our condensed milk, we have our evaporated milk, and now we're going to put in our pumpkin. And it's going to be the whole can of pumpkin. And I've used Libby's before. It's very good. I've also made from scratch, right from the pumpkins, right from the field. A little more work, a little more time consuming, but very good. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up. Probably should have got a little bit bigger of a bowl here, but it'll work. So we're putting our pumpkin in with all of our eggs and milk. Not sugar, but condensed milk, which basically is our sweetener. Okay, so we're going to mix this up thoroughly. I'm going to be able to, I've got a ham thawing out, and I have a turkey, about a 12-pound or 13-pound turkey, and I've got some lamb ribs, and I've got those marinating. I put them in some olive oil, garlic, and rosemary today, and cut them into chops, and those are probably going to be grilled tomorrow. Just before, you don't want to do lamb too much earlier. You can marinate it, wash it, prepare it, cut off the fat, and get it ready. But you don't want to cook it too much early, okay? Just before your guests arrive. Oh, do you like my apron? I think it's cool. It's Mrs. Claus. Went to Myers and found this, and I thought, hey, that'll do. Great for the holidays. So basically what I'm going to do now is take a teaspoon. We need some spices. So we're going to take a teaspoon of salt, and that's going to counteract our sugar, okay? And then a teaspoon of cinnamon. And how many know that cinnamon is a very great flavor in pumpkin pie? So a teaspoon of cinnamon. Sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's going to balance out. Ginger. A teaspoon of ginger. So it's smelling wonderful in here. Okay, and the other thing is cloves. So we're just going to use a half a teaspoon of the cloves. Okay. Don't want a lot of that one. That's very strong and pungent. Okay. Now we're going to mix this up. Wrong one. Oops. Okay. We're going to mix this up. Get all our spices incorporated in our pumpkin. And the kitchen's starting to smell. At this point, you can turn your oven on. And you can put it on 425 and bake it for about 15 minutes. And then turn it down to 350 and go about 30-35 minutes. Or I've just seen my mom put it on 350 and let her go until she's done, and you insert like a toothpick. When it comes out clean, your pumpkin is set up. It's starting to smell really good. We're getting that orange color now, like a light creamy orange. All of our spices are getting included. I'm going to go back to the whipper now. Make sure everything is blended well. So I don't know what you're fixing for Thanksgiving. Turkeys are available. They're out there in the store. There was kind of a scare that you couldn't get a turkey, but you can. They're probably limiting them to one, some stores. I was reading in the South it's a little bit harder, like a Winn-Dixie store I was reading today. Supplies, Thanksgiving supplies are being kind of rationed out, but Michigan, we're doing okay up here. We got our turkeys. Couldn't get fresh. I don't know if you can even afford fresh this year. They're just not available. for affordable prices. But we got ours. We ordered ours from Walmart's, I believe. We got them early. And had them in the freezer. So, but if you're gonna unthaw your turkey, it's gonna take 3 to 4 days in your refrigerator to thaw it out properly before you cook it. So today's Tuesday. If you don't have your turkey out, you better get her out of the freezer. And I don't even have mine opened yet. I'm just letting it thaw. I think I got mine out on the weekend, and it's still pretty frozen. So it takes a little bit. But the proper instructions will, I think, you can Google it, but I think it says it right on the turkey, how to thaw it, how long it will take. Okay, I'm just taking a little bit of extra time here because I do want the cloves, the cinnamon, and the nutmeg. Everything has to be incorporated evenly. Okay, so pie crust. Here we are. Basically, I have purchased these from the freezer and at Walmart's, and you can just crimp the edges, lay it in there and put it on flour, roll it out, whatever you want to do. Get it. I'm using the deep size pans, so I'm going to have a deeper pie. You can use the thinner pan here, the pie, and get like a 1.5 inch. This would be like a 2 1/4. Okay, so I'm just crimping the edges, going around. Now I can go ahead and use buttermilk and Crisco and mix my flour in the bowl and roll these out in about 5 minutes too. So, but this is an easier way. Talk to a couple of people about doing things that are easier. A lot of people don't have all day to spend in the kitchen because of family and working and school and everything. So there is the crimped pie, and I have 2 of them. So I'll be splitting this mixture into 2 pies. So each can of Libby's with all of your ingredients, no matter which pie, the old-fashioned or the new way, you choose to go, you're going to get enough to make yourself 2 pies. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in, but I will bring you back in just a few minutes. Okay, y'all, we're back, and I did crimp the other edges of the pie crust. So we got 2 deep ones. So 1 can of Libby's with the milk, 2 cans of milk and 2 cups of milk going in there with the eggs. It did fill them right up. So you're going to get 2 thick of the pies. And I like the thicker pies. Now we're off on to making a pie. Say you have people that like apple, some like blueberry, or some like berry. I've got some berries in the freezer. I could get those out and whip those up and put those in the pie as well. But I'm going to use apple and blueberry because that's the kind people like. So I'm just going to take the pie filling. This is a quick way to do it, okay? So basically, roll these out, and I'm going to go ahead and add my apple on the one side. That way you don't have to make 2 pies. If 1 can doesn't fill it all the way up, I've got another can. Okay, now we're going to go to blueberry. I love blueberry pie, but not everybody does. But I do want a piece this Thanksgiving. I'm just going to see. I'm going to keep the blueberry up to this side here in case I need to add a little more apple. Because I think apple is really popular for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be doing my turkey this year, stuffing it full of apples and apple juice. So there we have almost full. I'm going to go ahead and open this other can and fill this other edge in. Now how quick is this, okay? So working moms, moms with children that are home, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill this up. It's not going to hurt. It's going to bake down too. So we got half and half, and you can see how quick and easy that is. It used almost a whole second can there, so 3/4 of a can. So there you have your pie, if you can get a half and half. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my top on. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just crimp my edges, just like you would, to finish off the pie. You can put this pie on a baking sheet. It does say to bake it. I'm just going to go, these two have to go, we're supposed to go in 450 oven for 15 minutes, turn it down to 350, and then 35 to 45 minutes. But what I'm going to do is just do 350 for the whole entire time, because I think I'm going to bake this one at the same time. I'm going to do 350, 35 to 45 minutes, and then I'm going to check them. It's okay to bake them slower. It's not a race. Okay, so we're going to finish crimping these edges on these pies. Okay. Now what I like to do, you can kind of see apple and blueberry here. I'm going to take a knife, and I'm going to make a hole in it for air to get out, okay? So basically, I can do, I can make a little B here, blueberry on this side, and A on this side. That's just to let your air escape, and you kind of know what you have. All right, now I have cinnamon sugar here, and I have white sugar. What I like to do on the top of my pies, especially my fruit pies, is just put a little bit of sugar, sprinkle it on. Okay, just a tiny bit of sugar while it's baking. You can take some egg white too, and do that if you would like to. I'm also going to put a little bit of cinnamon on top. How many of you like cinnamon? I certainly love cinnamon. This gives it that homey, fresh look, and the house is going to smell absolutely wonderful when the cinnamon starts taking over here. Cooking in the oven, you're going to smell it everywhere. Okay, so I've got my 3 pies. It basically took me hardly no time at all. Say 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Throw my ingredients. Once you go to the store and you buy your stuff, that's the biggest part. Getting them into the oven. Now I'm going to put them on like I said, 350 degrees, 45 minutes, and then I'm going to check them. Okay? So I'm going to turn you off, and I'm going to bring you back to see our pies.